Today, I'm on the hunt to find the best chocolate chip cookie at Disney World. I'm gonna be taste testing every single chocolate chip cookie around the resort and ranking them. Before we get started, let's set some ground rules. Now, we are ranking chocolate chip cookies, meaning these cookies can't have anything in them other than chocolate. So yes, that unfortunately disqualifies the delicious Riviera cookie. Okay, that's it. We have 10 cookies on our list, so let's go grab our first cookie from none other than Gideons. Gideon's Bakehouse is widely regarded by Disney fans as having the best chocolate chip cookie here at Walt Disney World. People are waiting hours in line to get their hands on these cookies, and we certainly waited quite a long time in line today. One original chocolate chip cookie from here at Gideon's costs $7, and this recipe actually took them 15 years to perfect. So you can tell they are putting a lot of love and care into every single one of these cookies. And would you guys just look at how many chocolate chips are on the outside of this cookie, and they are all quickly melting. It's all over my hands, but let's break this cookie in half to reveal the inside, because the inside is arguably why I love this cookie here so much. The inside is so thick and gooey and cookie dough-like. Like if you just look at that center, it looks like raw cookie dough, which I know a lot of people might not like. I personally love it. Let's dig into our first cookie of the Disney Cookie Challenge. Definitely very messy and melty today, but man, is that good. It's been a while since I've just had an original chocolate chip Gideon's cookie, and it just hits. There's nothing quite like a Gideon's chocolate chip cookie. It really is so different. I feel like you cannot find a cookie like that at any other restaurant, at any other bakery. Like I said, the inside is almost like cookie dough. So if you're someone who enjoys cookie dough, I think you're really gonna love this cookie here. Along with that general soft cookie dough kind of vibe, it is just loaded with chocolate. There is so much chocolate inside and on top of this cookie here, making it super rich. So rich to the point where I can never take more than a couple bites of that cookie, which I guess is like good and bad, because I always have plenty of cookie to take home with me, plenty of leftovers here. But what really makes Gideon's chocolate chip cookies for me is that little bit of sea salt that they sprinkle on top. It balances the richness of the chocolate perfectly. I always say, if you're visiting Gideon's for the very first time, you have to try their original chocolate chip cookie. In my opinion, it is one of the best chocolate chip cookies that I've ever had. One of the best chocolate chip cookies in the world. They do have some other cookies that are really good. My personal favorite is the banana bread chocolate chip cookie, but if you're going for the first time, you have to get just the OG, the original. It is so good, and that's gonna be very hard to beat. Well, that was the first cookie, so obviously it is in the #1 spot for now, but like I said, it is going to be very hard to beat. I don't know if any other cookie we try today is going to be able to move it from the #1 spot. I know there's a lot of Gideon's haters out there, but it's one of the best in my opinion. We have a couple of more stops here in Disney Springs, and next up we're hitting up Erin McKenna's Bakery NYC. This is actually a bakery that is completely vegan, kosher, and gluten-free. Every single thing that you're gonna find here in the display cases is allergy friendly. If you have allergies, this is the spot to come at Disney World. You could find a bunch of different treats. I know my friends with allergies love coming here. You could get cinnamon rolls, donuts, and of course, chocolate chip cookies. So here we have picked up Erin McKenna's chocolate chip cookie for $4.25. Just by looking at this bag, you may think that there is nothing in it, but there actually is. I was actually worried that this bag was going to fly away because it is very windy out. But there is a very thin chocolate chip cookie inside of it. I've been to Erin McKenna's a handful of times with my friends, but I don't think I've ever actually tried anything there. So this is gonna be my first time here today. Now, obviously, this is a very thin cookie, and it's gonna be gluten-free, it's gonna be vegan, and it's gonna be kosher. So it's gonna be an allergy-friendly cookie. So I'm honestly not expecting much, but it's thin and it looks a little crispy, and I do actually like a thin, crispy cookie. So this might actually be good. It's actually very soft as well. Look at that. It's like super stretchy and chewy. Wow. Okay, this actually might be good. Oh my gosh. And it is just like breaking apart. Okay, let's see how this is. I gotta say, I am quite impressed by that cookie there. I think if you handed me that cookie and you didn't tell me it was allergy friendly, I don't think I would really be able to tell because the flavor's pretty on point. There's a good brown buttery flavor. The chocolate in there is nice, although there's not a lot of chocolate. There's more like cookie than there is chocolate. But the flavor of the cookie is really good. I will say the only thing that's a little off is it's a little bit grainy. It's a tad bit grainy, but other than that, that's a good cookie. I am quite impressed with that. I was a little bit skeptical when I first initially took it out of the package just because of how thin and light the cookie was. Like I said, it literally almost flew away in the package. But as soon as I broke it, I was like, okay, this is actually like looking like a chewy cookie. And it was. If you have an allergy, I gotta say, that was quite good. I don't think it's going to land at the bottom of our list. That's how good it was. I definitely could see us having a worse cookie today, but since that is the second cookie that we tried, it is surely not better than Gideon's. So right now, it is going in the number 2 spot. Okay, so we've made our way to the other side of Disney Springs to Earl of Sandwich because I heard they have cookies over here. And I actually wasn't prepared for Earl of Sandwich's cookie game. At first, I just picked up a cookie that they had pre-packaged sitting by the register because I thought that was all they had, but no. It turns out they actually have a whole display case full of a bunch of different cookie flavors that look incredible. They actually have an ube flavored cookie that I will have to come back for, but for now, I picked up the Chocolate Dream Cookie. This costs $5.79 and is quite large. Look at that, I feel like it covers my entire head, and I also think it has 2 different types of chocolate in here. I think I see some dark chocolate and some milk chocolate, but if you look closely at those milk chocolate chips in here, which are very large chocolate chips, they look a little old and crusty, so I don't know if it's been sitting here for very long. But let's try it out, let's take a bite here. So judging based off the looks of this cookie, you might think this cookie was going to be a little bit harder, but once you get into it, it is quite soft, and it definitely does taste like this cookie might be a day or 2 old. I guess I'm just trying to say it just doesn't taste super fresh, and I feel like you could tell just by looking at the inside of it there that it's just like, I don't know. It's just a very, I guess, average cookie. There's not a super strong brown buttery flavor, not a super strong brown sugary flavor. There are a lot of chocolate chips, which I appreciate, but really that's the only thing that stands out in this cookie to me, the amount of chocolate chips, and I guess the size as well. This is a very good value cookie. It's a huge cookie for the price. Mom, would you agree?
Yeah, I think I like that other one better. I didn't expect to, because this looks really good, but it just doesn't have it tastes flowery, there's just not enough sugar and sweetness to it, I think.
So out of all of the cookies we have tried so far, Earl of Sandwich is taking the number 3 spot. Stop number 4 is also in Disney Springs at somewhere I didn't even know sold chocolate chip cookies, Ghirardelli. This store is known for their hot fudge, and specifically their hot fudge that is served on top of their very expensive ice cream sundaes. But they also serve a chocolate chip cookie here that runs $6.95. Yes, it is only 5 cents cheaper than Gideon's, and it is definitely a lot smaller, or at least a lot thinner. That is for sure. And this also looks old, I feel. Although the package did say it was packaged today, so that is a good sign. Let's cut it in half here. It looks okay. I'm hoping at least the chocolate is good because, it's Ghirardelli, so the chocolate should be good. If it's not, I'm going to be very disappointed. This cookie reminds me the most of those chewy Chips Ahoy cookies. It is very chewy. It is very almost cookie dough-like, although it doesn't look it from the outside. It definitely tastes a lot better than it looks. I feel like this cookie and the Earl of Sandwich cookie have kind of swapped their flavor profiles. This cookie doesn't have quite enough chocolate chips, but it does have a strong brown butter and brown sugary kind of flavor profile, whereas the Earl of Sandwich cookie had plenty of chocolate chips and no brown sugar, brown butter kind of flavor. And I do think that brown sugar aspect is a little bit more important in my eyes at least, so I do think I prefer this one here a little bit more. Wouldn't you say it tastes better than it looks?
Yes, and the one thing I noticed immediately, those chocolate chips are so good. They have to be the Ghirardelli chocolate chips because they taste so much better than the chocolate chips on that other cookie.
You know, that cookie is coming from such a big name as Ghirardelli. I expected it to be a little bit better, but it was still pretty tasty. I'd say a little bit better than Erin McKenna's, so it's currently in the second place spot. Another unsuspecting place that you can find a chocolate chip cookie here at Springs is Polite Pig. Polite Pig is a barbecue restaurant serving up actually fantastic barbecue, which is probably why you wouldn't expect to find a chocolate chip cookie here. But believe it or not, my first time ever trying a Gideon's cookie was actually at the Polite Pig. Years ago, when Gideon's was kind of first getting started here in Orlando, they used to sell their cookies to the Polite Pig, only a couple of cookies every day, and the Polite Pig used to sell them to guests here at Disney Springs. They were super hard to get your hands on. I want to say they only had maybe like 10 a day or something, so they were a hot commodity. And I came here right when they got their shipment or their delivery of Gideon's cookies in one day, and I was so hyped to be able to get one. But ever since Gideon's got their own store here in Disney Springs, the Polite Pig had to make their own chocolate chip cookie, so they came up with the Bourbon on the Rocks cookie for $5. And you might be thinking to yourself, this doesn't just have chocolate on it. It has candy chocolate rocks on it. Well, I said it could only have chocolate in it. And these chocolate rocks are pretty much just chocolate. So I'm counting it. For the sake of this video, I'm counting it. And I don't think I've ever had this cookie either. So let's break it in half. Honestly, I feel like it looks very Gideon's-like. I feel like they took a lot of inspo from Gideon's, from their roots, if you will. And it looks quite tasty. It's nice and ooey gooey on the inside, a little bit underbaked, and there does seem to be a good amount of chocolate in here as well. I'm a little nervous for the bourbon though. As you know, I'm not a big bourbon fan, so hopefully it's just like a tiny hint of bourbon. Let's see. I gotta say, the Polite Pig is not only doing barbecue right here at Disney Springs, they are also doing cookies right here at Springs. This is definitely one of the better cookies we have had today. Oh my gosh, this is really good. The bourbon definitely gives it a unique kind of flavor. You can taste it in there just the tiniest bit, and I do really enjoy the flavor that it gives. I definitely think it's less rich than a Gideon's cookie. So if you like the idea of like the doughy cookie dough texture of a Gideon's cookie, but you think the amount of chocolate is way too much, I think you might enjoy this cookie here better because it's giving Gideon's not quite as good, not quite as doughy, but just less chocolate. And there's also no sea salt on it, but this is really good.
So that's pretty good. I actually wish it had very little or less rocks on top because texturally I want to taste the cookie because the cookie is good and I have to keep chewing because of the rocks. So that's pretty good.
I could go for less rocks too. I don't think it needs any rocks.
No,
unnecessary.
Or just, I mean, I don't know why it's there. Maybe there's something theming wise, but even if they just sprinkled a couple on the top, they don't need as many as they have.
No rocks. The cookie is good enough. We don't need to mask the cookie. I would say Gideon's is more soft all around, and this cookie here, the outside is more crisp. I don't know. I was not expecting anything from this Polite Pig cookie whatsoever, but I've got to say, I am more than impressed. So impressed, in fact, that it is moving into the number 2 spot on this list. Only thing better that I've had so far is Gideon's. The final stop on our journey in Disney Springs brings us to Summer House on the Lake, where they actually have a cookie bar with a bunch of different flavors of cookies. You know, there's this big debate. People either like Gideon's cookies or Summer House on the Lake. I'm convinced people say they like Summer House better just because they don't feel like waiting in line at Gideon's, but who knows? Today we'll find out which one actually tastes better. I think I already know, though. So here we have Summer House on the Lake's chocolate chip cookie, which costs $4.95. I'll give it to them. It is certainly cheaper than a Gideon's cookie, but you can see it definitely looks a lot different than a Gideon's cookie. Let's break it in half here. Very chewy, you can see. Very stretchy as well. Little cross-section action. Let's try it out. Okay, it's definitely been a while since I've had a summer house cookie, and I definitely think it's better than I remember. It's better than the last time I had a summer house cookie for sure. The cookie is very soft and very stretchy and very chewy. It's very soft without being cookie dough-like, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't taste like raw cookie dough whatsoever, where the Gideons cookie does. It's not as rich, there's not nearly as many chocolate chips in there, and I feel like this is the sweetest cookie that we've seen. There's a ton of sugar in there. It's very, very sweet. My friends and I always say that summer house cookies taste like a grocery store cookie, and I still stand by that. I think it tastes like a solid grocery store cookie. I don't think it tastes like anything spectacular or anything that I would ever go out of my way for. But I guess if I'm at Summer House craving a cookie, like, it's not bad, but I definitely would never come to Spring seeking out this cookie. Summer House loyalists, I am sorry. This is going in the number 3 slot. I definitely think Gideons, and I do think Polite Pig has a better cookie than Summer House. It's finally time to head out of Disney Springs and over to Hollywood Studios, where we have one cookie to grab here. That one cookie is coming from the market, which is located right before you enter Toy Story Land. And of course, the cookie in question is the Jack Jack's Num Num cookie, which costs $6.99. Out of all the cookies that I've tried so far, this is the first cookie that I've gotten that's actually served warm, so I definitely appreciate that. I also like the big chunks of chocolate that we have on top. It's been a very long time since I've had this, so let's dig in and see how it is. I remember I've gotten this previous times and it hasn't been great, but this time I must admit, it's pretty good. I will say, I don't think this would be nearly as good if it wasn't served warm. If it wasn't warm, it would be really dry and kind of crumbly, because this is the first cookie we've had that is very crunchy on the outside. It has way more of a crunch than any of the other cookies that we've had. The outside, around the outside, is super crunchy, but the inside is nice and soft and very, very chocolatey. You know what this cookie really reminds me of? Not only in looks, but also flavor. It reminds me a lot of like a cookie that you would get if you order a cookie skillet out at a restaurant. If you order like a warm cookie topped with vanilla ice cream, this is exactly what this reminds me of. The Jack Jack cookie over in Disneyland that you could get is definitely a lot better, but I gotta say, maybe this has improved, because today this is quite good. This is definitely a lot better than I expected, and I'm gonna rank it a lot higher than I expected, mainly because it was served warm. I really like that aspect of it. So I'm sliding it into the number 4 spot. We are skylining over to the Epcot Resort area to hit up the stops on the boardwalk. First up, the Cake Bake Shop Bakery for the chocolate chip cookie with flour de sel for $7. Well, that was definitely a first. They tried to upsell me on a bag to put my chocolate chip cookie in there for $1.50 extra. I obviously said no, but I haven't had this cookie actually since the day they opened, and I believe they put the price of this down a bit. It was a lot smaller when I got it on opening day, and I want to say it was like $12 or something when I got it on opening day as well. So it's bigger now, and it's only $7. So it's still tied for the most expensive cookie of the day. And it's definitely not nearly as big as Gideon's, but these chips look nice and melty, probably because it's very toasty out here right now. But let's try it out. To me, this tastes exactly like the Nestle Toll House cookie dough that you could get at the grocery store in the tub, and then you just like bake it. The pre-made Nestle Toll House cookie dough. That's what this tastes like, which isn't necessarily bad, but that's not what I want from a $7 cookie. They're also advertising this salt on here, which is good when you get a bite with salt, but it's very unevenly salted. I love sea salt on a chocolate chip cookie, but you get some bites that are perfectly salted, don't have too much salt, don't have too little salt. But then like half of the bites don't have any salt whatsoever. I do feel like the chocolate in this cookie is very high quality. I like the chocolate here a lot. The chocolate tastes better than like Nestle Toll House cookies, but the actual dough itself tastes like Nestle cookie dough. And since I do like Nestle cookie dough, I'm gonna put this just above the Jack Jack cookie in the new number 4 spot. For our second stop on the boardwalk, we are hitting up the Boardwalk Deli, which is the quick service restaurant here at the resort. Every resort at Disney World has a quick service restaurant, and every quick service restaurant at the resorts is serving up the same chocolate chip cookie. So this is counting as the resort chocolate chip cookie, the resort quick service chocolate chip cookie. So I'm not gonna go to every resort and just get the same chocolate chip cookie. So this is the same one that you could get everywhere. It's a very chewy cookie here, as you can see, and it just looks mass produced. Tastes that way too. This tastes super generic, and if I'm being totally honest, it also tastes like a Nestle Toll House cookie, which is what the Cake Bake Shop cookie tasted like. And luckily, I still have this cookie. I want to do a side-by-side taste test because I feel like they taste very, very similar. I want to grab a piece of this cookie and try this. Now this. I swear the only difference is higher quality chocolate and sea salt, which does make a big difference, but the actual cookie tastes the exact same. I think this is a chocolate chip cookie that'll hold you over, it'll hit the spot, it'll do the job, but it just has nothing that makes it stand out whatsoever. So this resort cookie is our new number 7. We are on our way into Epcot to get our final 2 cookies, and up to this point, we've only had 1 cookie taking up the number 1 spot. Nothing has been able to top Gideons, so we'll see if either the bakery in the France pavilion or the bakery in the Norway pavilion's cookies can top Gideons. So I made my way over to France to hit up the bakery here to grab the Biscuit Chocolat, which is described as a chocolate chip cookie. However, when I got up to the display case, I realized that this wasn't just your average chocolate chip cookie. It was actually a chocolate chip cookie, which looks amazing. It actually looks like a really good cookie. However, I figured in fairness of the game, in order to keep things fair, I cannot count that cookie there from France. So we're gonna be 1 cookie down today. We still have a cookie to try here in Epcot. Only 1 cookie that could potentially knock Gideons off their game, but I walked all the way over here. As a consolation prize, I did get myself a ham and cheese baguette. So good. All right, we are on to our final stop, which is just across the World Showcase Lagoon right over there. Norway, I'm coming for ya. Norway's Kringla Bakeri is home to the triple chocolate chip cookie, which costs $6.49. I have heard many people say that this is one of the best chocolate chip cookies at Disney World and gives Gideons a run for their money. So today, we're gonna put that to the test. This is the first time I am looking at one of these cookies and thinking, okay, this could be better than Gideons, and it's only fitting that it is our 10th and final cookie that it's coming down to. They say it's a triple chocolate cookie. I think that could be because it has some white chocolate in here as one of the chocolates, and I also see some flaky salt on there as well. It's also very large for the price too. I am so impressed by this. It's been a while since I had it, and I think they've completely changed it since I have had it. It looks so good. I can't wait to try it out. I can't think of a single thing wrong with that cookie. It's really good. You know, you go to the Norway bakery and you expect to get school bread, you expect to get lefse and other Norwegian specialty treats. But it's really shocking that they have an amazing chocolate chip cookie there too. Out of all the cookies we've had so far, this is the crunchiest cookie. We've had some cookies that are crunchy on the outside, but then when you get to the middle, they're soft and chewy. This one is pretty much crunchy all throughout, and I enjoy a crunchy chocolate chip cookie, so I really like that aspect of it. So with all of that being said, is it better than Gideons? I don't know about that. I think the Gideons cookie is so unique, so different, that Gideons has it beat. But it is good enough to move into our number 2 spot. This makes our final ranking after trying every single chocolate chip cookie at Disney World as follows. In the number 10 spot, we have Earl of Sandwich. Number 9, Erin McKenna's. Number 8, the Resort Cookie. Number 7, Ghirardelli. Number 6, the Jack Jack's Num Num Cookie. Number 5, the Cake Bake Shop. Number 4, Summer House. Number 3, Polite Pig. Number 2, Kringla Bakeri. And number 1, of course, Gideons. But now that I've tried every single chocolate chip cookie at Disney World, I want to hear from you guys. Drop me a comment down below and let me know what your favorite chocolate chip cookie you could find around the resort is. Or just let me know whether you agree or disagree with my ranking. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon. I really appreciate your support. As always, if you enjoy honest Disney food reviews, I am always going to give them to you. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.